Have you ever watched a master musician, a brilliant coder, or a star athlete and just thought, how? It feels like magic, right? Some innate talent you either have or you don't. But what if skill isn't magic at all? What if it's more like architecture? Something you can actually design, plan, and build piece by piece.
This is the age-old question, isn't it? It's at the heart of every time we try to learn something new, whether it's a language, an instrument, or a new role at work. Is greatness something you're just handed at birth, or is it something you can actually construct for yourself?
Well, research like the kind you'd find in the Harvard Business Review pretty much argues that, yeah, skill is a structure. It's built. And the best part is, like any structure, it has a blueprint. So for the next few minutes, we're going to grab that blueprint and unpack it, giving you the plans for building pretty much any skill you want to master. Okay, let's get into it. So here it is, the master plan for our whole construction project. And this isn't about some vague advice like, oh, just practice more. Nope. This is the proven psychological framework for how our brains actually build competence, literally from the ground up.
The whole process really boils down to three distinct stages of construction. We're going to start by laying the foundation in what's called the cognitive stage. Then we actually build the structure in the associative stage. And finally, we achieve that master craftsman level in the autonomous stage. So let's start at the beginning with stage one.
You know, you can't build a skyscraper on sand, right? Every great building needs a rock-solid foundation. This first stage is all about understanding the theory, the rules, the basic mechanics, before you even think about mixing the concrete.
The cognitive stage is, well, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's all cognitive. It's all in your head. You are consciously thinking through every single action. Remember learning to drive. You're thinking, okay, mirror, then signal, check the blind spot. Okay, now turn. It's deliberate, and man, it takes all of your focus.
Now, what's so important to get here is that this stage is supposed to feel clunky. It's supposed to be hard. You are going to make a ton of mistakes, and you'll probably need a YouTube tutorial or a guide for every little step. This isn't a sign that you're failing. It's the sign that you're laying the foundation the right way.
And this quote just nails it, doesn't it? You're not just going through the motions. You're actually building a mental map in your brain. It's messy work, kind of like digging a foundation in the mud. But you know what? Without it, the whole structure is just going to be unstable later on. I mean, just look at this contrast. This is the journey we're all on. We all start on the left, where every single action is a conscious struggle. But the blueprint we're following, it leads directly to that column on the right. Smooth, effortless, automatic action. So let's move on and see how we start building.
All right, the foundation is poured and set. Now for the build phase. This is where we start putting up the walls and connecting the pieces. This is where the structure of our skill really starts to take shape.
Now, heads up, because this is the longest and honestly the most critical stage of them all. You're moving from thinking about the steps to just doing them. You start to associate a specific situation, a cue, with the right action, without having to run through that mental checklist every single time. This is where knowledge starts to actually feel like ability.
So if stage one was about just gathering all your bricks, this stage is about applying the mortar. Deliberate practice. That means focused, repetitive, and getting feedback. That's the stuff that binds all the individual pieces of knowledge together into a strong, cohesive structure. It's how you go from just knowing the parts to having a functional whole.
And you can really feel the progress here. You'll start noticing your mistakes get smaller and happen less often. You're getting faster. And crucially, you start to develop an intuition for it, a feel for the skill. You're not just following the recipe anymore. You can kind of sense when the sauce needs a little something extra.
So, the foundation is solid, the structure is built, and it's strong. Now we finally arrive at the last stage, where you're not just a builder anymore, you're a master craftsperson.
This is the destination, the autonomous stage. This is where the skill is so deeply burned into your brain that it becomes automatic. I mean, think about tying your shoes. You don't consciously think about it, do you? Your hands just do it. That's a skill that has reached the autonomous stage. It's basically a part of you now.
I love this idea. It's so powerful. The blueprint has served its purpose. You've internalized the design so completely that you can now improvise, create, and adapt on the fly. You're not thinking about the skill anymore. You're just executing, which frees up your mind to focus on higher-level stuff like strategy and creativity.
And here it is, the incredible payoff for all that hard work. You are now a master builder.
You can perform the skill while you're distracted, your accuracy is just second nature, and when a curveball gets thrown your way, you don't panic, you just adapt instantly and intuitively. This is the absolute pinnacle of skill. So, we've walked through the entire architectural plan, right? From digging the foundation all the way to putting the final touches on a masterpiece. So the big question is, what do you do with this? How do you use it?
Let's just boil it all down. First, you have to remember that every expert you admire started in that clumsy, slow, cognitive stage, making mistakes. Second, the long associative stage. That's where the real work happens. Purposeful practice is the engine that drives your progress. And finally, understand that the whole goal is to build a skill so solid that it becomes an automatic, unconscious part of who you are.
You see, this framework, it demystifies mastery. It turns it from this scary, intimidating mountain into a series of totally manageable construction projects. The blueprint is in your hands now, so the only question left is, what amazing structure are you going to build with it?